what a lovely day!
You're not John.
No, on the past show, you said that you don't know of any Christian who says that. Well, I'm offering.
Oh, so you're another Christian. You must be listening to Quantum Eraser too much. So Quantum Eraser, how?
No, I'm listening
how
to
is,
you.
How is Christianity not a religion?
I'm listening to you ask a question.
Because
I'm
the definition of religion is belief without evidence, and I have evidence.
That's not the definition of religion. Religion is the belief and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
No,
how is it not a religion?
Without evidence. It's synonymous with blind faith.
No, that's faith. That's faith. Actually, you.
I'm sorry,
actually
that's a synonym of
faith
religion.
and religion here. So
that's your religion.
How is it not a religion?
I just told you. Religion is belief without evidence. That's why it's always juxtaposed with science. Clown show.
So you've again created your own word for religion now because you don't want to be with having a religion.
Hold on a second. I'll send it to you. I got it.
Well, look up any religion. Just look it up. I already did. Religion.
I already looked it up.
Okay.
How can you be in a creationist argument when you don't know? That's the question, son.
Pointing out your hypocrisy.
Shut up, Anon. We're not talking to you.
No, I am talking to you.
We're not talking to you. You're a clown. Just like Timmy. Right? So, Timmy, how can you be in a creationist argument when you don't know whether the universe was created or not?
I have been trying to do for the past 3 weeks.
Anon, shut your pie hole.
So where are you getting this religion definition from? Because all of them say basically belief and worship in a superhuman controlling power.
Yeah, without evidence. It's synonymous with faith.
No, it doesn't say that at all.
Yeah, it does say. Shut up, Anon!
It doesn't say that.
No, Timmy, back to the original question because yours just
No.
Yeah. How can you be in this argument? Okay. How can you be in this argument, right? The creationist argument when you don't know? That's the question. I asked you it on the last show.
I think Anon actually would say exactly.
We don't care about Anon. Answer the question.
Oh, okay. You asked me a question, then talk over me.
I did. Yeah, we don't want to hear about Anon. We want to know why you're in a creationist argument and you don't know.
It's crazy that I have to agree with the Globey. This is what you brought me
down to,
John.
Anon. Timmy, answer the question that I asked you on the last show. You said that you have a problem with creation science, but you don't know whether we were created or not. Why are you in this argument?
I've already answered that question, but I'll go ahead and answer it again. So creation science, like I said, is basically taking a premise and trying to prove that premise with the bias. So I don't need to believe in materialism. I don't need to believe in anything to actually kind of look at that, look at creation science, do I?
Creation science, there is no such animal, for number one. You didn't answer my question. How can you be in a creationist argument when you don't know whether we've been created or not?
I already answered that.
No,
so anyway,
you didn't.
What about religion, Christianity not being a religion?
You didn't answer that question. Why are you in this argument?
I've already answered it. I'm critiquing
Let me ask you another question. Like I said, we already went over this. That your pseudoscience priests have already just told you that the universe had a beginning, right?
What?
Your pseudoscience priests have just told you, I just showed you and the audience where they said the universe had a beginning.
Why are you strawmanning me? I don't necessarily, just because I know that the Earth is a sphere doesn't have anything to do with me believing in string theory, in Big Bangs, and anything like that.
Why are you? What the hell are you talking about? Why are you invoking string? What is string theory, Timmy?
Wow.
You're not even listening to what he's saying.
Wow.
He's not listening. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, what is string theory, Timmy?
This guy is a Christian fundamentalist, and really I would argue that
you're
he's
a materialist fundamentalist. You think that ink, paper, and glue molecules authored technical instruction manuals and
scripts,
blueprints?
guys. Back to the ink, paper, and glue
You
script.
got, that's what you are. That's what you believe in. What's string theory, Timmy? Is it a scientific?
So anyway, like I
Number
was
one,
saying,
is
he
string theory a
continues to try
scientific
to
theory?
strawman me by saying, "Oh, just because I believe in the globe, I have to believe in everything that
I never
scientists
said that.
which is a
What is
straw
string
man.
theory? You invoke string theory. If number one, is string theory a scientific theory? Timmy, you invoked string theory. What is string theory? And then we were going to want you to scientifically validate that.
What he said is that he doesn't agree in it, with it. Do you understand that? Or you broke?
No, I'm not
Thank
talking to you,
Anna.
clown show.
Appreciate
He
it.
invoked string theory.
I'm saying that because I'm going to say it one more time for you. Maybe you can listen this time, okay? Just because I believe in the globe doesn't mean that I believe in all of these crazy scientific theories that they have, such as the Big Bang, which is the atheist creation story, or things like string theory, John. Do you get that now?
Oh, you don't believe in string theory?
I don't necessarily disbelieve it, but I have no reason to believe it.
Okay, what is string theory?
That's besides the point.
No, to disbelieve it, you'd have to know what you're disbelieving in. So what is string
I
theory?
just said I don't believe it or necessarily disbelieve it. You're not listening.
How could you not necessarily believe it or disbelieve it if you
I'll
don't
tell you
know
why,
what the
because
hell it
there's not
is?
16 dimensions.
We're not talking to you, Anon.
Can I ask Timmy a
You're
question?
not Timmy.
Go ahead.
Can I ask Timmy a question?
Who's talking to you?
Go ahead.
Clown.
No, you made a statement. I thought, well, a couple things. Actually, I want to go back to the level thing, but you did just make a statement. You said the Big Bang Theory is the atheistic perspective. Am I
Creation
correct, or I
story.
misunderstand it? Could you?
Creation story.
Atheistic
No,
creation story.
No. You
That's
said.
what I said.
No, you said it was. I thought you said it was the atheistic creation perspective. Big Bang.
That's what he said.
Did I miss it? That's what I thought.
No,
he
you
said.
didn't miss it. That's what he
Yes,
said.
for atheists. Yes.
No, I didn't say creationists. I said Big Bang. You said the Big Bang is the creation, the atheist creation story.
What is going on here?
That's what I'm
listening?
Well, we're
clarifying.
dealing with a retard that should be picking up cans alongside of the road. He's in a creationist argument, but he doesn't know whether we were created or not.
As a flat earther, I'm embarrassed.
This is like a mechanic
Yeah, this is
being
sad,
in an
dude.
argument with a car, but he's never seen a car.
Everybody keeps. I'm trying to be clear here, guys. I mean, he thinks I'm not hearing him. I'm saying I don't understand. So please bear with me. I thought you said that the Big Bang is the atheist creation story. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Now you're saying story. Very good.
I'm asking you that. I'm asking, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Quit making fun of my southern accent. Okay, I'm actually trying to ask a question.
Boy, I can do it if I want.
He's a
Okay,
retard,
you said
Paul.
it's the atheistic creation story. So do you? This is a direct question. Do you believe that there is a creator?
I don't know.
Okay, so you're agnostic.
That would be the best way to describe me. I usually say that I'm not atheist, but yes, I would say that I'm agnostic. Yes.
Okay, if that's the case, then you shouldn't have a problem with discussing whether there's a creator or not.
Who said that I did?
I know you're dismissing everything John says, and you're dismissing all the Christians on the panel.
No,
like
I'm not.
calling us fundamentalists, whatever. Yes,
No,
you are. That's what you've done.
Because
that's what you've done.
I called him that.
I'm on this panel too, and I'm a Christian.
Well, that's fine.
But you cut. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to the definition of level. I found the definition you found. Okay, but if you read the word adjective, it says having flat or even surface without slopes or bumps. How do you account for that? I thought this might get us back on track instead of, because we're completely off the rails now. So you read the first part, which is a noun. It says horizontal plane with respect to distance above or below a given point. But if you read the adjective, it says having a flat or even surface without slopes or bumps. And then the verb says give a flat or even surface to. So would you agree with those definitions? Because that you didn't go any further than the first one.
Like everything, there's multiple definitions, but I think that Reds and other people have demonstrated how you can have a flat surface that's not level.
What? With this tilted freaking shelf?
Yeah. So there is a difference.
The hell is that?
There is a difference. You can have a flat
Timmy, we
surface
just said,
that
we
isn't
just
level.
gave you a bunch of definitions, right? That said level is flat without curves. Right?
Okay.
We're not talking about the surface texture. When he tilts the shelf down, it's not level, but the surface is smooth. You clown.
So here's tangent.
Here,
Actually,
we don't want to listen to your color commentary. Just answer the question. Is flat level?
You're funny, John.
Yeah, you're a moron, sir. Is flat level?
If one thing John is he's consistent.
It's flat level.
We talked over
One
3
thing
years
that
ago.
you
and
are,
said the same
fundy materialist, that thinks that ink, paper, and glue molecules author technical instruction manuals and
Who said I was a
blueprints, and something
materialist?
came from nothing. We're
Why are
talking
you
about
saying
you,
words that I'm
fundy
not?
materialist.
Is that how you win
How can you
arguments? Is to
Please
straw man
explain
people?
in your materialist worldview, mathematics, thoughts, time, information. Please explain that in your fundy materialist worldview. We want the chemical structure, formula, charge, mass, momentum, or spin. And the
Is this how you try
electron
to win
volts,
arguments? Is straw
and
man
the
people? I never
kcals or
said I was a
kilojoules
materialist.
for look out,
he's
there's
like
a tiger behind
He's
you.
got like dementia.
Right?
I never said I was a materialist. I'm actually
You are a
against
materialist by default.
Ironically,
There's
he's an
two
atomist.
ontological
Ironically,
primitives,
he's
sir.
an atomist. He's
You're
in the
either
cult of quantum.
nature created us or an intelligent design. There's only two choices.
That's a false dichotomy.
Oh, really? What's the third choice?
Anything else?
Anything else?
Boy,
That's why we love you, Timmy. Your meticulous attention to excruciating detail. OCD-like. What's the third choice?
Anything else?
Always been there.
Yeah, there we go. Anything else? You're a clown.
That's
You
not
don't
an
want some
answer,
corrections.
Tim.
Eternal?
Tim, that's
How about
not an
that?
answer.
Eternal is not an answer?
Second law of
that's
thermodynamics violation.
That's still nature. That's still nature. You haven't resolved the problem. Eternal is still nature.
How is it still nature if it was eternally here?
Can't be. That's a first and second law of thermodynamics violation.
Well, who's to say the uniformity of nature was the way that it was?
I'm talking about
right
the
now?
uniformity of nature. I said it's a first
When
and
he gets
second law of
nervous, he does that.
thermodynamics
Yep,
violation.
I've caught that too. He has this very glaring.
It's the second
nervous
law,
laughter.
first and second law of thermodynamics violation. No one brought uniformity of nature into this, Timmy.
I did.
Yeah, you did. What does that have to do with the first and second laws of thermodynamics? Do you
I
even
never
know
said
what
it
they
had
are?
anything to do with that. You're the one bringing that into the conversation.
Yeah, what's the first law of
You need
thermodynamics?
to follow along when people talk to you, John. You need to follow along.
What is the
okay?
first law of thermodynamics, Timmy? And then the second law right after that.
Well, why are you asking
He's a
questions? Matter
teacher.
cannot be created or destroyed. Well, what does it matter, dude? You
Well,
don't
it
understand
has
the
a
second law of
direct impact.
thermodynamics. It's one of the hardest things to
It has a
understand. in
direct
physics.
impact on your position. That's why.
Second law of thermodynamics is actually very hard to get in
Hi,
physics.
Papa
Very,
Joe.
very hard concept, and it's very
It's a hard
math-based as well.
concept,
It's
huh?
never brought up here.
Is it a hard concept in physics? You can't even define them. Define the first law,
Extremely
Nate.
hard. Extremely hard. Yeah.
It's
So what
extremely
is
hard.
Here's an
what is the
observation.
equation for the second law of thermodynamics? Since you know so much about it,
The second, yeah,
So-
I'm an expert in the laws of thermodynamics, son.
what's the equation? Then?
Yeah, the second law of thermodynamics can be summarized as all
No.
spontaneous
Equations. It's
processes
mathematical.
result
John.
in an increase in entropy of the universe. Taken with the
Okay,
first
what are
law
the
of
equations?
thermodynamics, that nature or natural
That's a
law
Christian
cannot
science
create or
right there.
destroy matter or energy, the universe
talking
must
to?
have had a beginning,
He can't hear you when he talks because he's on Skype.
right? Right? Just like Stephen Hawking just told you, and Paul Davies just told you. I just gave a detailed explanation of it.
So what is one of the equations from it?
One of the equations from it.
Yep.
Gibbs
Do you know
free
the
energy.
answer yourself?
New tab.
I just answered it. Gibbs free energy. Delta G. Do you know what delta G is, Timmy?
So the equation is delta G, you're saying?
Yeah, there's a delta. Yeah, it's called Gibbs free energy. Yes.
So it's just delta G?
Called delta G. The result is delta G. Yeah,
what's
it's
a
not
G?
a disco band from the 70s. Why are you going to equations? What's the problem here?
Because you continue to talk about the second law, and like I said, it's an extremely hard concept to get for a lot of physicists, actually. And
Really?
so
You're
there's a
definitely
lot
not
of
a
math
physicist.
involved as well. You continue to boil it down to, high pressure goes to low pressure and hot goes
That's
to
right, you
cold.
dumbass. That's increase in entropy. Do you know the entropy laws, Timmy?
Do you know what enthalpy is?
Enthalpy. Yes, I do. Heat of reaction.
Why do
You're
you
a
boil down
clown.
things that
You're
are
a
extreme
clown, sir.
concepts
What does a
into
positive
like a
delta G
word?
say? Positive delta G, what does that mean? That's
Just
both
ridiculous, dude.
unfavorable. Let's go with a positive delta G for a reaction that's unfavorable for enthalpy and entropy. What does that mean? You got to Google your way. You better start Googling fast.
No, I'm not Googling. I need to plug in my vaporizer, actually.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
You little
Tim,
clown.
what are equations for in anything? What are they for? Tim, what are equations for? What are equations for?
For quantification of things, ideas, concepts.
Okay, so they're basically a description, right?
I guess.
Okay, was not John describing something? Was John not describing stuff in his explanation? So words can describe things too, right?
Dude, you're just always butting in with like neither here nor there comments, man. Seriously.
Because you're just throwing things out there, like saying, "John, what's equations? John, what's this?" He's giving you the description, but you're not doing
Because
anything with
the
it.
second law is extremely complex and it has to do a lot with mathematics. And I was just wondering if he knew the math for it. Just like the law of gravitation.
Yeah, and I just gave
Would
it to you.
accept the law
So
of
what else
gravitation
you
or
got,
not?
Timmy? How can
You
you
accept the
have,
law of
since the
gravitation?
total amount, hold on, I'm going to summarize the first and second laws for you. Since the
You've
total
already
amount
made
of matter and
several
energy is
presentations. Who
constant, that's the
cares,
first
dude?
law, and the amount of usable energy is decreasing, entropy increase, then how in the world can't you have a beginning?
It's supernatural. It's supernatural.
God, man,
And
finish.
it's not part
Laws
of
of
the system.
thermodynamics destroy you. You don't even know what they are.
Are you being fed,
Great.
Tim?
Yeah, he's being
What's
fed.
No, I
Fed
don't
by
think
who?
so. Why do you lay these
You guys creating
spurious claims
conspiracies
at
around
his
me?
feet? Why? It just discredits our argument when you do that.
Seriously.
Why would
But
you do
again-
that to him?
Say that again, Nathan. Why what?
Why would you accuse him of being fed?
He's asked a question and he responds maybe 3 or 4 seconds later, and it indicates that someone's telling him the answer.
No, he said, I'm just stacking up my vape thing or whatever.
I don't believe him.
Oh.
I don't care what you believe. Doesn't matter.
So back to my question, Timmy. Since the total amount of matter or energy is constant, first law, and the amount of usable energy is decreasing, second law, that's increasing entropy, how in the world can you not have a beginning?
I've already answered this question.
No, you
That's
haven't.
the presupposition of the uniformity of nature, and I
No,
actually
I
don't.
didn't presuppose the uniformity of
that one.
nature. I used the first and second laws of thermodynamics. Has
Yeah,
nothing
those
to do
work in our
with
today's
the
world, but who
uniformity of
knows that they
nature.
didn't. I'm just saying, yeah, they are laws, just like the law of gravitation are here on
No,
Earth.
that's an equivocation fallacy. That's not a law.
It's not.
Nope.
I thought you liked laws. I thought that they couldn't be broken. I thought that they were just God's green earth.
I
Only
told you
God
that the
can
law
break
of
those
universal
laws, bro.
gravitation
Only
is
God.
it's not a natural law because it's been violated. Helium balloons violated. Yeah. Yeah. What is the universal law of gravitation?
Funny?
Because it's like so elementary. You guys can think that this guy's your guru or whatever, but the fact is,
I don't call anybody a guru.
Before rumpusing starts,
helium
bear
balloon
with me,
is
hold on,
very
no
harmful for
rumpusing.
the whole
Guys,
law of gravity.
chocolate. So,
Yeah,
what is the law of gravitation, Tim?
What, Newton's law of universal gravitation?
Yeah, what is it?
You guys just ask questions the whole time. What does it matter? You don't believe in it, so what?
You brought it up.
Do you want me to look it up and then read it to you, or do you want me to
should
have it
already
on the top of my head?
No, that's fine. Yeah, if you
Why
like.
don't you just spitball
No,
it? Just
I
spitball
don't
it.
mind him as long as he declares that he's just going to go away and look it up. Fine, yeah, cool, great, yes, please.
You guys not know the law of gravitation?
You brought it up. I know it, yeah, but I'm just checking if you know it. You've got to look it up. We'll just see what you find, and then we'll go from there.
Nathan, I'm just saying that I'm not actually going to play your games.
Oh,
if you want to talk about, if you want to talk
why
about
did you bring it up
how
then? Okay, no worries, Tim. But just answer me this: why bring it up then? If it's something you don't want to defend, why bring it up?
Why did he come here to begin with?
Yeah, he brings up stuff, he throws it at the wall and see if it'll stick. Because he's used to battling those friggin' crayon munching incoherent globetards that let him go. You ain't gonna get away with that here, Timmy. Haven't you learned that in 3 years?
Then I have to define it for you when you guys already know it. It's a rhetorical question. I'm just not going to play that game.
We're checking to see if you know it.
No, let me just bring it back on track. No, John has said, no, it's not a law. And then at the point we've gone, well, let's define it then. That's essentially what we're asking. And you've gone, no, I'll relinquish this argument at this point. Okay, fine.
Well, let's just say that I know it from all the times that Red's rhetoric continues to talk about it.
He appeals to Red's rhetoric as his source.
That's an appeal to Red's rhetoric fallacy.
I've listened to Red's rhetoric, and I've heard it a lot.
Bitch,
so I actually
Nathan, 2 times now.
you guys know the
Red's rhetoric fallacy.
Because
appeal to Red's rhetoric fallacy.
Wait. So Tim, how does Red's rhetoric define the second law of thermodynamics?
Oh, come on, Chocolate. Let's leave the bitches out of this.
F equals G M1 M2 over R squared. That's what he always says. Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sound like that.
Sorry, Tim. You've looked it up. Can you just repeat it? Sorry.
No, I actually know that by heart. F equals G times M1 over, or actually M1 times M2 over R squared.
What's the law?
Just more questions.
No, that's just the equation. Please explain it to us.
I'm not going to.
So how are we supposed to understand what you're talking about then?
Tim, you realize that, right? You tell us the equation, but you're not going to tell us what the actual law is.
No, I'm just saying, like, even with how long we've been talking about it, I would have time to actually look it up. But I'm just like, why answer rhetorical questions?
Just spitball it.
I suspect Tim doesn't know.
It's not a rhetorical question.
I suspect he just doesn't know. Do you know what the law of gravitation is, Tim?
I have no idea. No.
I knew it. I knew it.
Wait a second, Nathan. No, that's a rhetorical question. Timmy, do you even know what a friggin' rhetorical question is?
Oh, I have no idea. I just say things that I have no idea, guys.
For about 2 years, we'd always laugh at you because you didn't know the difference between moot, M-O-O-T, and mute, M-U-T-E.
That was never even me. Again, you're strawmanning me.
You. We laughed at you.
I never even used that word
for conflating the terms. Me and Cathexis.
You know what? Go and find that, John. Go and find where
it's all over. I tried to get Kathy on here, man. I think he's out of the community. Though.
Seriously, go and find where I said that because you're thinking of somebody else. That's the problem.
No, I'm thinking of you, clown show. Let me ask you a question.
I never said that, John. Stop strawmanning me, John.
In the north and southern hemisphere, Timmy.
Didn't it?
Please answer. You know, it's been your argument for 3 years, other than that friggin' stupid photo you drag along with you. Let me ask you this question: do the stars spin in different directions, that is east-west in the north versus west-east in the south.
I'm really glad that you brought that up because I heard you say that just the other day. No glober has ever said that they spin in opposite directions as far as east-west. We actually said that they do go from. Okay, go ahead and laugh like a maniacal weirdo.
I'm laughing at you. It's been your argument for 3 years.
No, it hasn't actually. The argument is that they in the northern hemisphere they go around Polaris counterclockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they go around a central point clockwise. That was the argument, not that they go east-west and west-east in different directions.
What's the argument?
But that would mean they're moving in different directions, right?
Sorry.
No.
Hold on,
You're looking in a different direction.
Don't put words in his mouth, Chocolate. And they rotate around central points. That's interesting. And
Was that a question?
yeah, what's your point?
I'm saying that he's strawmanning people. No one's ever said that they go from west to east when you're looking in the southern hemisphere. No one has ever said that.
Okay, I'll accept that on face value. So you've now pointed out that they seem to go around 2 central points, correct?
Yes, they do.
Counterclockwise and clockwise.
And I'm prepared to accept that. And what the hell does that prove?
Well, nothing to you guys.
Well, you're using it as an example. I'm asking you what you think it proves.
Well, again, this was all brought up because he says that globers say that they go from west to east. No one's ever said that. All we've ever said is that it's counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. That's it.
Okay. Are counterclockwise and clockwise directions objective directions?
No.
Oh, so it's
then what's your argument?
It's meaningless then. So yeah, no, I'd already said at face value I'll accept the opposite directions thing. No worries, I won't attribute that to you either. But you are still making a claim about these points that they rotate about. Does that have a point attached to it, Tim?
To people who understand the celestial sphere, yes, and the circumpolar stars and the equinox observations, all the stuff that works on the spherical Earth, yeah, it does mean something.
Sorry,
but
what was that you say? Works on a spherical Earth?
There was a baby crying, and then what?
You said it works on a spherical Earth?
Yes, that's what you would expect on a spherical Earth spinning, yes.
I failed to see the point in you telling us this. I thought you were trying to prove a spherical Earth.
Did I come in here and say, I am here to prove the spherical Earth to you guys that have been rhetorically going over nonsense, semantic arguments for a year or over a year now?
What does semantics mean, Tim?
Oh my God. What is this, the definition show, dude? Seriously.
Yes, it is, because you're using words you have no idea what their meaning is.
Yes, you have semantical arguments.
Okay, semantical arguments. What does semantics mean, Timmy?
Are you able to show the screen to Quantum Eraser? We can get into some observations if we want. Because this is a flat Earth debate.
Do you know what semantics means, Timmy?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm more than willing to look at observations, but so far, all we've got is that you can look at these points about which the stars rotate, and then tell us that if you presuppose Earth is a sphere, they work. So other than you telling us that you can presuppose a spherical Earth, modelling with these observations, what are you going to prove with these observations? Are they of these 2 points above our heads?
I actually never said that you have to presuppose it's a sphere.
You said it works on a sphere model.
Yes, it does.
Sorry, do you have a memory problem? You said it only 60 seconds ago.
No, I just agreed. Yes, it does work on the spherical Earth, yes.
So you are, in fact, assuming a spherical Earth? I thought you were going to prove it with this example, as opposed to assume it.
How do you test a model if you're not going to assume
We're
its
not
outcome?
living on a model, you stupid dick.
I never said we are.
So who cares then?
I believe that obviously we're not living on a model, but what we are living on can be modeled, and it has with 100%.
What type of
accuracy.
model? Is it an airplane model, a runway model, a toy model, an architectural model? Let's see this model. Share Timmy's screen. I want him to show us the model.
Which one?
I'd like to see it too. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Which
we
one's
want to
the
see
bring one up?
the heliocentric model.
Stellarium or what? Will that work?
It's whatever it is. Pull up your model. Pull up your sphere
model.
Earth model.
The heliocentric model.
There's not just one model, guys. There's hundreds of models.
Oh, there's hundreds of them.
Hundreds.
Okay, then Nathan, what model do we want?
The model.
We want the model.
So you guys on your off time can go look at Stellarium. It works.
It's not our job to
Stellarium?
support their claims, Counselor.
Sorry, Stellarium. Does that show
Yes.
where I stand?
Stellarium.
Does that show the ground beneath my feet?
Yeah.
You can see the ground in a star program.
Yep. Yes. Did you hear me? Yes, you can. Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
stellar aberration.
Sorry,
is not
sorry, Tim.
conclusive.
Tim. You think the ground I stand on is in a star program?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Sorry,
Have you ever looked
do
at
you
Stellarium?
know? Sorry, do you know what the word reification means, Tim?
Oh boy, here we go with reification.
I'll ask you it a third time. Do I stand on the ground in a star program?
Oh, do you personally stand? That's a stupid question. No.
Sorry, did I ask the same question 3 times? Yes, I think I did. And you answered in the affirmative that I do stand on the ground. I can see the ground in this star program, can't I, Tim?
No, you can see the ground. Now you're saying that you
Oh,
can
I
stand on the
can.
ground in the
So I
program.
do see the ground
You can see
in
the
this
ground.
program.
Yeah.
It's the ground,
That's
is it?
different from you being
Is it-
standing on the ground.
So it's not the ground? Are you having trouble distinguishing
I don't even
between...
understand where you're
Are
going
you
with this.
having trouble distinguishing between a program and reality, Tim? It seems so. The ground in your
The program
program
matches reality,
isn't the ground, Tim. It's a computer program. That's called reification. Do you believe the ground in the program is where you live, Tim?
It's just dumb.
Yeah, you're not bloody kidding. Yeah, it's called a reification fallacy. We don't live in a model or a program, Tim. Your
never said
model
that.
isn't reality. Who's making all that racket?
Does
Hello?
it not match reality?
Who's making all the racket?
Yeah. Eddie, go on mute.
Looks like it's coming from you, Nate. I don't know.
Yeah, Nate, it does look like it's coming from you.
My bad.
Somehow.
So I'm wondering, I'm sharing my screen for John here. This is something that you can see out at the Great Salt Lake all the time. And it seems as though over 350 feet of these buildings are being obstructed. Just wondering, what is the current excuse for these observations?
Sorry, did you say 350 feet?
Yes.
Sorry, 350 feet would be an actual size measurement. And we aren't seeing in actual sizes, Tim.
So 350 feet or more of the building and the 100 feet that leads up to the building is being obstructed.
Sorry, did you not hear what I just said? Shall I say it a second time? Are you going to completely ignore it a second time? I'll ask
What
beforehand.
does that have to do with
Hold on,
anything?
Tim, I'll ask beforehand. Can you please listen to the words that I say, Tim? Is that possible?
What does it have to do with anything what we see in?
I
I'm
just
saying
need an
that there's
affirmative
350
yes.
feet
Yes,
observably
Nathan. I'll listen to the
gone.
words that you say and acknowledge them. Not ignore them entirely. I'll try and say them again without your affirmative that you will indeed acknowledge what I say. So, Tim, we do not see in actual size. It's not
What
a
does that have to
measurement.
do with anything?
Tim, I know this is going to trigger you, my friend, because it's the demolition
no.
of your fundamentalist belief in Earth curve. which is an
What does it have to do with
equivocation
anything?
whereby you use actual sizes which do not change with distance, they remain constant. So a 10-foot wall will be a 10-foot wall if
What
it's
does that have to do with anything?
You see, Tim, you seem pretty triggered. Is this because...
not at all.
Yeah, well, why don't you shut the fuck up then?
Timmy has got an angle. Just let him
Yeah,
get to
you're
his
damn
angle.
right, I've got an angle. Yeah, an angle, Tim. An angle. Yeah, that's how we see things. In angles. We don't see in actual size. This is not an actual size representation of the things you see in a distance. It's an angular representation. We have an angle to all of these buildings, Tim. So when you tell us how much of the actual size is missing, it doesn't account for the fact that the angular size will change with distance. So my question, why would you give us... I haven't quite finished, Tim. Is it because your fundamentalist religious belief in perspective hijacking Earth curve relies on you using actual sizes so that you can exclude perspective? I think it is. And you need to talk over me while I take apart your religious fundamentalist belief in perspective exclusive Earth curve that uses feet and inches, and you can only talk over the top of me rather than have this rammed up you. And I assure you, you will either drop because you're a coward or you'll attempt to obfuscate it by rumpusing. So which is it? You're going to run away like a bitch because this is going to be your belief in Earth curve ripped apart in my answer, Tim. You don't have to like it. You can try and rumpus it. But fact, this will be the demolition of your religion. Either you can listen to it or you can toddle along, sunshine. Which is it going to be?
I'm waiting.
Yeah, no worries. Tim, you are giving us actual sizes for these things that you are telling us have an actual size missing, when in reality, the camera is looking at angles, not actual sizes. However, Tim, you said you were ready. Clearly not ready for your religion to be taken apart. I think, Tim, you should go away, kneel at the altar of R, and come back when you're ready to have your religion taken apart. Because you're not ready, Tim. You're just not there yet. You're not ready for this. It's just too mind-blowing for you. Maybe spend a bit of time with Eric DeBay. Work your way up to this. We're too advanced for you here, Timmy. You need to be on one of those rumpus forums where you don't need to listen to the damaging truth about your religion, how it hijacks perspective with actual sizes like you've given us.
Do you want an angular size instead? We can do that.
Wicked.
So does angular size change with these buildings when I zoom in?
You said you were going to give us an
out?
angle. Now you're asking me a question.
Does the angular size change when I zoom in or zoom out?
You said you were going to give us angular sizes, and we'll process them through your calculation of how much Earth curve obstruction we should see. Are you going to ask me a question or give me those angles?
We could calculate the angles if you want, but that's not really helpful.
Yeah, I do.
Because I zoom in and zoom out.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd like that. I'm going to run angles through your Earth curve calculator. We're going to see how that goes. So let's have them. First, we'll have the angles, then we'll run them through the Earth curve calculator and see how well we get on.
Do you want angular size, or do
Are
you
you
want
deaf?
angle?
Are you deaf or just fucking retarded? Yes! Give them me, you stupid fuck!
I'm not going to sit here and take this.
Yeah, that's what I said. Option 2. Toddle along then, sunshine. You're not ready for your fundy belief to be taken apart here. This is just too advanced for you, my friend. I'll tell the audience once you toddle off how Tim's actual sizes in feet and inches don't change with distance. And what are we assessing here? Things at distance, Tim.
Are you going to let me talk?
I'm asking you a question. Are we assessing things at distance? Because that would change its angular size, but the feet and inches value you give us, that won't change with distance, will it, Tim? Take your time, sunshine. I know it's hard. Just give it up, Tim. The Earth's not a sphere. There's no curve. It's just a hijacking of perspective. Take your time, mate. Do the feet and inches value change with distance, given that we're assessing things at distance, Tim?
Do the feet and inches change with distance? No.
Oh, well, we seem to be
That's true
assessing
for
things
anything.
at distance and how much should or shouldn't be there based on a value that doesn't change with distance.
So
That's wrong,
Walter
Tim.
Bislin does
It's
show
wrong.
angular size for
No,
these.
it doesn't, Tim. No,
observations.
Tim, it doesn't. You're just mistaken. Would you like me to educate you about how Walter Bislin's calculator works? Or will you rumpus the shit out of me while I take that little religious belief apart as well?
Are you just making stuff up? I'm
No,
sitting
I'm
here.
asking you, do
Calm
you want me
down.
to take Walter Bislin's calculator to pieces? Or is that a fundamentalist religious belief that's just too dear to you?
Well, let's just premise and say that I asked how this works on a flat Earth, and then we get into angular size and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
right.
just not gonna answer how
On a
this
flat
works on a
Earth,
flat
Tim, we observe angles. And it would be the same on a globe Earth. You see, you asking us to observe angles now on a flat Earth means that you seem to be sidestepping the angles you said that we would run through the Earth curve calculator. You haven't given them us. We haven't done any calculations. What's going on, Tim? Why are you sidestepping this?
Because it's a red herring to start talking
Oh,
about
really?
angular size.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, you've got the win here, Tim. That was a fallacy I used. Maybe it was the fallacy. And in fact, we can use actual sizes when we assess things in the distance, even though it doesn't change with distance.
Is there any flat earthers that actually have arguments for flat
There's
Earth?
a hand wave dismissal from Timmy there. Oh, how quaint. That's so quaint. You're not ready for this, Tim. Go away, worship at the altar of R, and come back when you're ready for your religious fundamentalist belief in perspective hijacking mathematics and the whole numbers, the actual sizes. Yeah, it's okay, Tim. It's all right. You can rumpus this point. I've made my point 3 or 4 times. Clearly, it's not sunk in. The rumpusing won't work at this point, Tim.
Let's talk to an actual flat earther now. So go
That's
ahead.
me.
Man.
Me. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. Tim believes in a perspective hijacking calculation. That's it. That's all you've got.
No, actually, I just you can just look at this image and say, well, how does this work on a flat Earth? How about that?
Oh, no worries. Well, the bottoms of the buildings have got a reduced angular size based on their distance. A limited angle can cause things to disappear. It's called the diffraction limit. Is that a good enough explanation? Sorry, you just going to laugh? Or are you going to in any way challenge my explanation, which is absolutely factually accurate? Or maybe you'll just rumpus me. Maybe you'll laugh and rumpus. You asked a question. I gave an answer. It took me about 5 seconds. You couldn't help interrupting. You're not ready for this, Tim. Just go back to one of the rooms that lets you spout fundamentalist shit.
Okay, rhetoric. Yeah. So what is the diffraction limit, Nathan?
Yeah, the point that you have interference, that you can no longer resolve the image. The point that it disappears with distance.
What's the equation for that?
I haven't got the slightest idea.
There was a 2-hour-long video explaining it.
Radians equals 1.22 times the wavelength of light over the diameter of the aperture.
There you go.
There you go.
So does aperture make things less obstructed or more obstructed?
No, you can calculate the diffraction limit based on the aperture. I'd just like to point out at this stage that none of this is included when you give a feet and inches value, even though we're looking at this picture through an aperture.
Okay, that's great.
No, it's not great, because the actual effect is called Earth curve, Tim. Yeah, we have a diffraction limit. It's a fact. You can calculate it based on the aperture of the camera. It's a point that things will disappear in the distance, and the limited angle would be what you calculated for something at distance. Now, when you give a whole number, an actual size in feet and inches, it ignores... Oh, we're not looking at your pictures no more, Tim. Oh, that's a shame.
I'm going to grab some drone video, actually.
Oh, we're going to look at some foreshortening effects, are we? We're done with this subject.
Oh, no, it's foreshortening.
We're done with this subject then, about how the feet and inches value doesn't account for the fact that the optical equipment used has a diffraction limit calculable in the Rayleigh criterion, and that is a cause of things disappearing with distance. That's ignored. Oh, you're going to rumpus the shit out of me right at the conclusion. What coward? You're just not ready for this, Tim. Go to your fundy groups. Go to a Church of Globe.
Why is this guy doing this?
Because you keep interrupting when I get to the conclusion, Tim. When I point out that the whole numbers, the actual sizes, feet and inches or meters, doesn't change with distance, but in reality, the angle can become too small and then be calculable at the diffraction limit with the Rayleigh criterion just given to you by Zach. Now, you can rumpus me like you are now, but ultimately speaking, Tim, even though you're talking over the point, it just makes it clear you're not ready for this. Your religion's too tightly held. Now, that's not my problem. You just have to rumpus me when I make the point really concisely.
Yeah. The normal rhetoric, okay. So
it's not rhetoric. Perspective, diffraction limit, calculable, listed based on the aperture. These aren't rhetorics. These are facts.
So does height have anything to do with the Rayleigh criterion?
You're increasing your angle.
Sorry, height is an actual size, Tim. Are you dense? Did you not just listen? Height, would that be measured in feet and inches, perchance? Or meters?
I'm saying that when you change height, you get observations like this. This is
I already addressed this. I said yes, so we're going to move on to foreshortening effects, are we? We are done with the Rayleigh criterion. We're done with the fact that objects disappear with distance based on their angular size, and now we're going to move on to foreshortening effects. So we're done with this, are we, Tim? No concession, no acknowledgement of your fundy belief that substitutes angular size, apparent size, the size that things look at distance, with actual size, feet and inches, what you'll plug in the curves math, so you can ignore the effect of the Rayleigh criteria. Well, you can ignore it, but that would be your fundamentalist belief in a substitution of perspective with Earth curve, Tim. Now, you'd have to like that. You can rumpus me every time I get to the conclusion, but it just shows to the audience that you're a fundamentalist zealot that can't accept anything that flies in the face of your religion.
This guy is fucked in the head, man. Hey, can I talk to flat earthers or no?
Yeah, that's me. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. The only assertion of Earth curve from the ground requires the observer to exclude the effects of perspective, including that objects disappear with distance at the diffraction limit, calculable in the Rayleigh criterion. This is all fact, Tim. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. You can keep talking about your feet and inches and how many feet will be missing, right? You don't have to like it, Tim. This is real. This is the world we live in. It's flat. I'm a flat earther.
Okay, so can I actually talk to real flat earthers for a moment?
Yeah, me. Yeah, the only assertion of Earth curve comes with the hijacking of perspective. The Earth is obviously and observably flat, but things do get smaller with distance. Their feet and inches value, however, stays the same at all distances.
Can other people talk besides you for a moment, please?
So hand wave dismissal to every one of my arguments. Quick, someone else save me. Talk to me, someone else. Nathan's taking apart my religion. Someone else talk to me.
This is embarrassing. Go ahead, Riley.
Why? You know when you've got the drone up at its highest elevation, just go back to a point where it's higher rather than lower. Do you have any explanation for why there's not a reflection of the sun at the horizon and it's only in the middle ground?
No, I don't know why.
Surely it should reflect all the way up to the horizon if it's a ball.
So what's interesting with this is that Antonio Subrats came on my channel, said the same thing, Pete Shea, and basically this is demonstrating obviously with altitude, which he's not taking into effect in any of his excuses. It actually changes how much you can see of something that's 37 miles away. This Strong's knob here, that little peak that goes up, that's 37
because you're
miles
increasing your angle, Tim. You're increasing your angle to your target so you can see it. So your camera can distinguish each light rays coming out. When it's at the bottom, the angle is so narrow that those light waves interfere with each other and the pixels just jumble up and they just show, one and two pixels become one.
Yeah.
So when you're going up, you're increasing your angle, so you get to see more because your camera can resolve.
Hey, good times for all. I would actually like to talk to you sometime. I can show you a lot of observations and stuff. We can go through this without this this clown here.
What are you talking about? It just made a really excellent example. As you increase in elevation, you widen your angle. Again, we're back to talking about angles. What a shock. So it's all about the angles that we're seeing, and you're increasing that angle, and therefore widening the angle would increase. It's just your religion, Tim. Don't worry about it. Go away and worship R. You can either listen to the explanation, and I'm going to concisely summarise what Anonmoto has so beautifully pointed out. You're opening up the angle as you rise, decreasing the angle as you lower, and that means that the angle becomes more limited and the diffraction limit comes sooner. Simple. All about the angle, Tim.
You can do that with a ball and a long hallway. You increase your angle, you increase the angle of your camera, the ball, the little tiny golf ball becomes visible at the end of the hallway. There's nothing to do with curve, Tim. Come on. Don't be a fundamentalist yourself.
And with that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you joining us in the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream. Hopefully for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Obviously, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel, including Tim Osman, who is an excellent sport, I will have to admit it. If you need to keep yourself occupied after this stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!